Hey everyone, Maureen Dinkins here, and I got a request to teach a tutorial on back bends on your tippy toes. And it's not something that I normally practice because I am a traditional Ashtanga student, so that wasn't encouraged when we were learning back bends. So I thought about it, and I wondered why would you want to do back bends on your tippy toes? And there are some instances that are helpful, and there are some instances that can actually benefit the body by doing the back bends on your tippy toes. So I've been working on it for the past couple of days, and I've got some poses to show you. So there were 3 reasons I came up with that you would want to maybe do back bends on your tippy toes. One is to deepen a back bend on your back. So when you're laying on your back, you want to come down to the crown of your head and walk your hands in closer. And it's a lot easier on the body if you lift your heels and come on up to your tippy toes in that process. So that would be a great way to help start working on deepening your back bends. The second one would be to stretch open the hips and to stretch the shoulders a little bit more. So when you have that lift in the heels, you're pushing your hips forward and you're dropping your knees down to help straighten your legs a little bit more, thus helping deepen your back bends, which is what we all want. And then if you lift your heels and press into your shoulders, you can get a deeper shoulder stretch. So that's another method. And then the third reason I thought that you would want to do back bends on your tippy toes is as a means to an end. I know that when I'm doing my drop backs from a standing position, I often lift my heels to get a little bit more space get a little less space between my hands and the mat when I come down to the mat. So I'm going to work on those 3 methods or those 3 reasons today. So I hope you hang in there with me. As always, when I start a tutorial, I like to do 3 sun salutation A's to help warm up the body. So I'm always going to start with that at the beginning of my tutorials. So if you've already warmed up, go ahead, fast forward through my sun salutations, and we will meet there. So bring your feet together. We're going to hold the down dogs for 3 breaths. Inhaling, hands up, palms together, look at your thumbs. Exhaling, fold forward and kiss your knees. Inhaling, look forward, stepping back to high push-up, exhale, lower down. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hold here for 3. Breathing for 1. Breathing for 2. And 3. As you finish your 3rd exhale, step your feet between your hands. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, stand up, palms together, look at your thumbs. Exhaling, arms to the side. Second one. Inhaling, hands up, palms together, look at your thumbs. Exhaling, fold forward and kiss your knees. Inhaling, look forward, stepping back to a high push-up, and exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hold here. Breathing for 1. 2. And 3. As you finish that 3rd exhale, look forward, step your feet between your hands. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, stand up, palms together, look at your thumbs. Exhale, arms down to the sides. 1 more, and instead of stepping to a standing position at the end, we're going to come through to seated and go straight into those back bends. Inhale, hands up, palms together, look at your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the floor, kiss the knees. Inhale, look forward, step back to a high push-up, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold here for 3 breaths. At the end of your 3rd exhale, look forward and come through to a seated position. So, we're first going to start with bridges because bridges are the most accessible type of back bend for almost anybody. So straight legs, lower on down to your back, bend your knees, spread your feet almost as wide as your mat. Slightly turn your toes in towards each other. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift your hips up. Interlace your fingers. Good. So feel where your hips are right now and try to lift them a little bit higher. You might notice that your hips are just sinking down as much as you push. Now I want you to lift the heels and come up to the toes and push up as high as you can. Hold for 3. Notice there's more bend in the sacrum area, and then notice maybe your hips are going a little bit higher. Take your hands underneath and push. Squeeze your butt. Breathing for 2 and 3. Slowly lower down, drop the heels, and stay here. So I don't know if you noticed, but I also noticed that my legs here straightened a little bit more. So I got a little bit more workout on the outside of my knees. I could feel my tailbone lifting up. So that definitely gave me some more extension. You don't want to hold it for too long because you may get cramping in the feet and in the calves and the feet. So you want to just hold it for 3 breaths, then do it again. And you can just lift up, walk it in with the shoulders, lift the heels, hold for 3, or you can try to keep the hips up and just bring the heels down. And then lift up again. Try to keep the hips as high as they are right now, and then try to press down through the heels. It's a whole nother sensation. Good. Lift those hips a little higher. Try to keep the hips where they are, and then dropping down to the heels. And feel how much more of an arch you're getting in your back. Exhale, lower down, hug your knees into your chest, and rock from side to side. So that's one example of deepening your back bends by coming up off of the heels and onto your toes. Now the more advanced version of that bridge pose is back bend or Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose. We're going to use the toes. We're going to come up onto the toes to help deepen the back bends here. So we're going to roll on down to our back, same position as we did for the last pose, which is bridge pose. Spreading your feet about the width of your mat, place your hands by your shoulders. Now to press up into this pose, I recommend keeping your heels down. It's just a really stable way of going up. You're going to have too much here, you might hurt your ankle, so you want to just keep your heels down as you lift up for now. On an inhale, press down and lift up. Good. Hold here for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Now as you come down, drop your head, lift your heels, walk your hands in. You might find it a little bit easier. Then try to drop the heels again. Inhale, lift up, 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Exhale, lower down. Walk it in, heels up, heels down, press up. 1, 2 and 3. Exhale, lower the head. You can come on up onto those heels. Notice how I use the heels to help me come down, or use the toes to help me come down rather. Bring your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. So that is a second way to help deepen your back bends, by using the method of lifting the heels and coming onto your toes. Now let's talk about opening the hips and shoulders in the same pose when we bring the heels up off the mat and come onto our toes when we're already fully extended into a back bend. So roll on down to your back. I'm only going to demonstrate this one time. So spread your feet about the width of your mat. Bring your heels to your hips. Bring your hands by your shoulders. And inhale, press down to lift up. Good. Now, get into your back bend a little bit deeper, walking your hands towards your feet. You can lift your heels. Now lift the heels all the way up and push into your shoulders. Hold here for 3. Good. Now, push into your hips for 3. Don't drop. Lift those hips higher. Good. Drop the heels. Find that stabilizing point and slowly lower down. Nice and easy. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Cross one foot over the other. Roll yourself up to a seated position. So there you go. You have 3 different styles of back bends on your back, trying to lift the heels, to deepen the back bends, to feel it in different places of your body. Now the third is a means to an end. So I'm going to show you something using the chair that you can use, and then I'm going to show you the full expression of the pose. Something we work towards in back bends. If you've been doing bridges for a long time and you're just starting to learn back bends, it's an amazing sensation. Back bends turn into what we call drop backs, where you go into a back bend from a standing position and you stand up from it from the standing position. Today I'm only going to demonstrate going back into a standing, going back. I'll stand up from the chair, but when I go to the floor, I'm going to come all the way down. All right? So what I mean by means to an end. When you're doing a drop back, you are successful if you can bring your hands to the floor, no matter how you get there. But in order to get more extension in the hips and in the front psoas muscles, and more contraction in the back part of the psoas muscles, you want to keep your feet flat. So for here, you're going to notice my heels are going to come up, and I'm going to use the strategy of lifting my heels to get more length in my body so I can get my hands to the floor a little bit easier. So this first demonstration I'm going to do with a chair. Now I'm trying not to lift my heels, but I do it to help me. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hips forward. And notice how my heels lift as I bring my hands to the chair, and then I'll press through the heels. Again, lifting the heels slightly to come up. Some people like to do that, and it helps give them thrust to come to a standing position. So I'm going to do that again, but this time I'm going to go all the way to the floor. And notice how I use my strategy of lifting heels to get my hands to the floor. Also, when I lift my toes, when I'm in this position, for some reason it gives me a little bit more control. It's almost like putting the brakes on the drop back so I don't crash into the floor with my head. Okay? So this is the last one. Feet as wide as your mat. You're going to inhale, hands up. Exhale, go back. So those are some things you can practice using the strategy of lifting the heels, coming onto the tippy toes to help you with your back bends in a variety of ways. So let's just take a forward fold for 10 breaths and then we'll say goodbye. Inhale, come up, come to a cross-legged position. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that I helped you with back bends on your toes. I hope I answered all your questions. You can always ask me more questions about this in the comments below. And may you go with peace. Namaste.